Hi, I'm Tori.
I'm Kennedy.
So I decided to ask Kennedy about her experience with letterpress printing for my Indiana Folklore project. And so, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, Kennedy Adams. I'm a first year MFA student here in the Eskenazi School. I'm studying graphic design.
So for your creative biography, who is the person in relation? Who are you in the relation to your creative practice? So with letterpress printing, how does it correlate with the person that you are?
Yeah, so letterpress printing is very important to me, mostly because of the history behind it, but also it's a way for me to get off the computer as a graphic designer and be analog, work with my hands, and get dirty and see what mistakes can happen, and also the beauty of those mistakes and how we can embrace them in my studio practice.
For your community, how does the work that you produce, or who do you produce your work for? Like, what are some people that you give your work to when you're done with the process?
Yeah, so in letterpress we make prints. So mostly I don't make work for myself. I'm making work to either sell it or put it up in a show or a gallery and get it out there in the public. You can also do poster printing, and the beauty of letterpress is that you can make multiples pretty rapidly. So it is a medium that is to be shared with the masses. So when I do a print run, usually it's a greater number than traditional printing.
What galleries do you put your work in?
Here locally, the Waldron Gallery, and then a couple up in Indy, and then hopefully I'll get into Manifest in Cincinnati this summer. So fingers crossed.
Okay. Where did your art come from? Who taught you how to do this, and what inspired you to keep going with letterpress?
Yeah, so the first question was,
where did your art come
from? My art came from a place of not letting myself be an artist growing up. I was like, oh, I love art, but I can't make a career out of that. And then I realized I actually could, especially with the commercial arts like graphic design. So I used my background in graphic design to really push my experience in my work in letterpress, but that's where it comes from.
I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of have like the mentality that it's hard to create a job with art, because
it's not as hard as you think it is.
Yeah, my friends and I went to do pottery painting yesterday, and one of my friends was like, how did they even get this job? Did they go to college? I'm like, they probably went to college. And I feel like most artists, like, they don't work for money, they work for the enjoyment of what they do.
They do, yeah. And you don't have to go to college for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are passionate enough, you can be self-taught and figure things out. And part of actually my experience with letterpress is being self-taught through books and online resources before I had access to a letterpress studio. In my undergraduate degree, I didn't have that access, so I was screen printing and doing all kinds of other print mediums, but was introduced to it through a textbook, and I was like, I want to do this thing, I want to learn all I can about it, and then I finally got the opportunity here in my master's.
Cool. And then who taught you exactly, other than like your textbooks that you've used?
Yeah. So I've learned a lot from the Hamilton Wood Type and Printing Museum, watching their shop talks, and then our program coordinator here at Indiana University, Alexander Landerman. He basically taught me how to pull my first print, and it was very overwhelming and scary, but it all worked out, and he showed me along the way. So still learning now.
Is there anyone else other than the Hamilton Museum in Alexander that inspired you with your work?
I'm inspired by a lot of different printers, specifically like Amos Kennedy or Brad Better, even Stephanie Carpenter, those kind of people.
And then what makes a good letterpress print?
This is a tricky one, because in letterpress, traditionally, you want to kiss the paper. So we have our relief, and then you ink it, and you're just pressing the paper to the ink or the relief. But letterpress nowadays, especially for like commercial and wedding invitations, that kind of thing, people want to see like impressions in the paper, which is not really not what you're supposed to do, because you can hurt the type, you can hurt your block or whatever. But yeah, so I would say a good print is just kissing the paper. You get a little bit of color mixing from the color of the paper in the ink. So yeah.
Okay. And then what's the main thing that you value the most in your craft? So like what's something that stands out to you when you're actually doing your prints, making your prints?
Yeah, I want to make my prints, connect with the viewer or whoever's purchasing the print. It be clean, nice, have a nice craft.
Yeah.
I want it to look professional, even though it is a handcraft. I want you to be able to see the hand element in the artwork or the design itself, but not in the printing process.
Yes.
I'm striving for a happy medium between it almost looking like it could be a digital print or something as clean edged as that, but it's letterpressed.
And then can you briefly walk me through the process of how you actually print on the letterpress, and then later we'll go and actually physically walk through everything?
Yeah. So when you letterpress print, first you'll have your block and you lock that up in the press bed, and then we'll go over to the inking table and mix our inks, and then add the ink to the press and let that go, and then we'll trip the press a few times and make sure our paper's all lined up and everything's registered where it should be, and then you can start pulling prints.
And
Pretty
then
simple.
what makes letterpress printing different or special than traditional prints now, and what people normally expect when they go to a printing shop?
Like a digital print shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot more labor intensive. With letterpress, you're hand setting every single spacing material in letter. So it's very time consuming, but also you're putting so much more importance on what you're saying, because you're hand setting that type, or you're taking the time to carve it out of a block or go laser cut it. So.
And then for the last question, what is there anything that you specifically do in your prints that would differentiate yourself from other letterpress artists? Is there any key factors? I know Brad likes to use a lot of yellow, and he likes his imperfections.
Yes. I don't think I have a specific color palette yet. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. I have some inspiration saved, so I can narrow myself to that, but I never stick to it.
Yeah, I would.
But right now I think my work is very geometric or shaped based, so there isn't a lot of kind of organic forms.
Yeah.
So that I think that could differentiate my work. Yeah.
And then, do you have any prints here that you could show?
Yeah, I do. You want me to go grab it?
Do you want me to come with you?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'll just bring it back.
Do you have your clock still here?
No, it's at home.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
If you would have, I know.
I know.
As
You know what? I have a picture of it. I have a picture of your clock.
Yeah.
The-
I can see the documentation photo.
Okay, yeah. Pause, intermission. Sweet.
I brought some blocks over. Okay. You tell me. Let me
Grab the type book thing with all the different like type, the metal type.
Huh?
Wait for this.
Oh yeah, that's a great. So you want me to like walk through the
Yeah.
print and like what I did?
Yeah, like the process for each
Okay.
one, because I know this one was
This
difficult
was
for you.
this is a pain in the butt. I still
Yeah.
haven't put on my type away either, so maybe we could show that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And probably my
Yeah.
type is probably still in your thing
Yeah.
too.
So this print, should I go like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Was a type specimen for one cabinet, drawer, case,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, in the shop. And there was a couple different sizes in the case, and so it was kind of a hot mess, trying to figure out what was there and what wasn't there. And with this print, I wanted to show like the missing pieces. So there's 5 different point sizes, and then there was 2 different weights. So one was a heavy weight, and then the other one was a complete set, but it was like a more regular weight. So,
Were these, was this like all the type that was actually in the case, or was this like one of each that you could find?
one of each that I could find.
Okay.
Yep. As you can see, like this was the lighter weight one. The one, some of them, that was only what was left.
Mhm.
This was quite a tricky lockup. So you have pretty much the whole paper size. You have to find spacing material to fill all the gaps. Even the gaps like within these small compositions,
I can't even imagine.
which was very
that.
tricky. And figuring out that the spacing material wasn't put back in the right spots to begin
Mhm.
with. So then I started learning like, oh, this is actually what like a 3 pica is,
Yeah.
or a 3.5 pica spacing material. But yeah, and this was a double drop, or not a double drop, but 2 color,
Yeah.
because I have the brown for the
So you put it through the press twice?
yes, twice. Yep. And then this is just for fun, as a, you wanna hold it up? As a poster for our type shop. So it was kind of a running joke that it was like Kennedy's Kinko's. So I do digital printing and letterpress printing here as a GA. And so I was like, I made a poster for finals. Basically, I don't work as late as you do, so don't expect me to be able to help at 1 and 2 a.m.
Yeah.
or the very night before your stuff is due. So that was a little kind of joke print. But everything is laser cut. The
This
typeface,
part too?
it is, because I cheated.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to hand you all of it. You can see the letter fell out and broke. But yeah, so that's that one. It's very fun. You can see some of the wood grain from the laser cutter, like wood that we use. It's very cheap, but it's effective. So yeah, that's
I
a fun
almost
print.
kind of like the laser cut wood blocks more because it like on a regular like digital print like this wouldn't happen.
No,
like
it
the whole
wouldn't.
thing would be
Yeah.
filled in. So I
But it
think,
very much can look like from afar a digital print.
oh yeah, yeah.
That kind of crisp black.
Mhm.
Yep. And then this one is I don't like this print, but
Cute.
but it's an invitation to go fly a kite. I originally meant it, in the bad sense of like go fly a kite, F off. But it became very cutesy, and so it was literally an invitation to go fly a physical kite. This one's a little bit more mixed media with the marker. So I was inviting people to draw actually on the print themselves and make the kite however they wanted with the tails and then the string. Yeah, that's a lino cut. I think it went through the press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the way.
It was too much.
Yeah. I was wondering why you were doing so many colors.
Yeah. This one was a fun one.
I love this.
Actually,
This is my favorite.
This was a clock project. I didn't include any numbers for it to be a clock. I'm not sure why, but I kind of forgot to add numbers, and nobody noticed. But,
Yeah, but I feel like clocks don't really need to have numbers.
yeah, it's a cutesy clock.
Yeah,
It doesn't need
cutesy
it.
clock.
But I put a very crappy fish joke on it. You can read it. It's, yeah. Why did the fish go to school? To improve his fish intelligence. And
I love it. It's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's based on a vintage matchbook that I found. I collect them. It's just my thing. So yeah, that's where it came from.
And then is this the fish laser cut as
That's
well as the?
yeah. Everything's laser cut. Yeah, but I pre-printed the type to figure out what all of it looked like, and then I set it in a circle digitally after I scanned it in.
So the type on here, even though you laser cut it into the block, it's a type from the type, one of these typefaces.
It is. Yeah, it's one of from the Hamilton Legacy collection.
Okay.
So I can't remember the name of it. It's like Artista, I think. But yeah. This one was.
It's shiny.
It is shiny.
Never mind. It goes this way.
Goes that way. Yeah.
It goes this way.
But this is letterpress printed as well, and then it was metal leafed. So it was 2 times through the press.
Is this why the shop was so messy that one day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it goes everywhere. It's a very messy process, but I pushed myself to, experiment and do that. But I think that's where a good example of my geometric style. That's where I want to go.
Same with the kite.
Yeah. This one's kind of geometric, a little more organic, but this is my other version of my eclipse coaster. I'm not really happy with the total solar eclipse type, but that was just the color that it came out based on experimenting. But that was printed with wood type, and then the rest of it is a laser cut. So, and that was a 8-layer, I think.
Yeah.
Blue, yellow, white, black, and 3 greens. Yeah, 8 color.
You put a lot
Plus the
more
type.
work into your projects than I did. Mine were like 3 colors max.
Yeah, this one was quite the process, but it was fun. This is called like a rainbow roll, where you have like 2 different colors on the roller at the same time. But,
That's cool.
yeah, trying new things every print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we walk through? Some
Yeah,
of this?
let's walk through. So this is a Vandercook SP15 letterpress press. Letterpress press. But anyway, we have 2 settings. You can show it over there, I guess.
Yeah.
We have trip and print. Back and forth. So trip basically inks whatever is on the press, but it won't actually print. And then when it's in print, it's printing. So you better have your paper loaded, or you'll print on the cylinder.
Yeah, and then you have to clean the whole thing off.
Yes, then you have to clean the
time.
whole thing. Yeah. So this lever lowers our rollers up and down. I'm gonna leave it up, but basically just turn the crank and go all the way to the end. You'll see somebody printed on this cylinder and did not clean it off, but it happens. This is our motorized roller, and it is the only one that has power to it. So everything else runs off of this roller when it's resting on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun fact. Yeah. So you want me to show you like tools?
Yeah, some tools.
Yeah.
And then just like the wood type and the metal type.
Yeah, so this is our wall of furniture. So everything is set to a certain size. So this one is 50 picas from top to bottom, and then 10 picas wide. And they come in various sizes. We have super big ones, and then we have all the way down to like a half pica. So it's, a couple pieces of paper put together. But we use that to lock up the press, or blocks in the press, or even the type.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's more big furniture. We have palette knives right here. These are used for inking. You use 1 ink knife per can.
Yeah.
And then this is the pica pole. So it has points and picas and inches. So you can measure pretty much anything in the shop and get what you need.
Which I didn't even know what a pica was until I took this class. And Alexander kept talking about it. I was like, what is he talking about?
Pica. Yep. And then you always need some tweezers, especially when you're typesetting. We'll show you some very, very small metal type here in a minute. And then we have our coin keys. So this is what we put in the press. So we'll lock them up.
Yeah. Here,
Hold on to it.
Okay.
This is our wall of leading. So it comes in various different sizes and thicknesses. But this is what you would use when you typeset. So I'll grab a composing stick real quick. And then set this at 12. And then we'll throw a piece of lead in the very bottom. You're supposed to hold it with your left, and then you use your thumb, if you can see, like to hold your type against the edge. Should we typeset something real fast?
Yeah.
Dang, that's small. Okay, we'll do
Here, do you
18 point.
Do you want to do this one?
Yeah, we'll do that one. There we go.
So this is what a metal type case looks like.
What should we set?
Just do like your name or something.
We'll do hello.
Okay, that works.
So basically in letterpress, everything is upside down and backwards, which can get very confusing very quick. But so we put the notch in the type facing up. H, E. I shouldn't have grabbed the 12.
It's okay. Okay.
That's right. I'm just gonna put a big block of space in.
Bye.
No, I was gonna say peep.
Oh, is there enough?
Peeps.
Is there enough space?
Here.
Ow.
No, there's not. This is all the wrong size. I wonder if you used this drawer. Okay. Oh well.
Yeah.
We wrote hello.
Whatever.
Close enough. There we go. But as you can see, this is what it looks when you hand set type. So then we would take this and go over to our press and lock it up. But
We're gonna do a slight intermission. I'll edit the video later. Okay. Do we wanna?
let me see if I have any type.
We don't need to like fully do it, but just like an idea.
Where's mine? No.
Are you gonna move that?
Yeah. Move your phone. I wish I knew what the furniture lockup was.
That's okay. That's not too bad. We'll just like mess around with it.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to move all these pieces?
Yeah, that's fine. I was like, do you want to film me moving it?
Yeah. Okay. So this is what that first poster print that she showed us. This is how she set it up. She just hadn't put away any of the type yet. So you can see how many pieces just like go into each thing for the spacing to get every piece of
Probably
type.
like 500
Oh, yeah.
or 800
Yeah.
pieces of spacing material.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But so basically right now we just have it tied up with some string so that it doesn't go anywhere. But I'm gonna push this off. You can hear all the type landing on the press bed. Let's put this up here. So I'm gonna use the wood. That was perfect. Good call. You learned.
I did learn some things.
But using the wood furniture as a brace, technically I should take the string off, but it would all fall over if I did,
Yeah.
so I'm not doing that. I'm gonna try to slide this. We'll deal with that later. But take this. This is called a galley tray. Basically used for moving type around the shop. And then this is our coin. We talked about the coin key earlier. So once you have it all locked up in your press, you would insert the key and twist if this one isn't broken. And you can see it slowly getting bigger, and it would put pressure both directions to lock everything into place.
Mm-hmm.
So when we lock things up in the press, we have to measure in picas. So say this is exactly where we wanted it, it would be roughly 20 to 21 or 20 and a half on one side. And then we need to account for the 4 inches for the coin. So this side would be like 13-ish. So we'd go over to our furniture. What color was that one?
It was
This one. Okay. What did I say? 13.
and 20 and a half, I think it was.
Yeah. Let's do 10.
So you can see how much math like actually goes into this process and how you have to individually pull each piece of furniture.
And you gotta remember what
Yeah.
side goes to what. So hopefully this works. Usually you do a few trips back and
Yeah.
forth. Let's kind of move this out of the way. So this is that's an 8. This is a 5, I believe. And then this is a 3. No, something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's something. Push that there. It's a little hard with the string. It's in the way. We don't want to put metal against metal. So you would put this in and then the wood between them. Yeah, that's not gonna go because of those string. But you get the picture.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
Then you would do the same thing on the bottom. You'd add a piece of furniture, and then we have our lockup bar that you would put down here. And grab another piece of furniture. Then you would add this down here. Make sure it's out of the way of the coin, and then just hand tight.
Mm-hmm.
Then we would lock our coin, and then you would be able to start printing. Cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Do you want to tour some of the type at all?
Yeah, just like this is really quick. Probably just like one metal, one wood.
Yeah. What's a good one? This one?
Yeah, this one's good.
Yeah. So this is wood type. You can see it's. I don't know if it'll be backwards or not because we're on the selfie camera.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Type is upside down and backwards. We have everything from wood type is usually no bigger than this is pretty small, the smallest it goes, but some of the biggest wood type.
Yeah.
It can go all the way up to like 70 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then if we look at our metal type, this is usually what's smaller because you can get a lot more detail out of it. But let me find.
What's like the main difference between metal and wood type?
What do you mean?
Like, just in general, like, do you have to ink one more? Is there like more imperfections on one?
Yeah, you don't have to ink metal type quite as much as wood type. And then with wood type, you can get a lot more imperfections in texture just because it's a softer material.
Mm-hmm.
But once you damage metal type, it's pretty much
Right.
done for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a uppercase and lowercase a together in, what is this, 30-point italic. But then we have metal type that is as small as this, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Having to set type
Having
like
to
that.
set type this small is a pain.
Yeah.
And putting it away is even worse.
Yeah.
But you can see them kind of side by side.
And each case is kind of set in the same way. So like,
Yes.
like case to case, like the E's are in the same spot. All the uppercase are in the same spot.
Yep. So we have a little cheat sheet that tells you where everything is. So most of the lowercase is on the left side of the case, and then all of the uppercase and the numbers right up here at the top. Yeah, I was always very disappointed as a person whose name starts with a K that they stuck the K at the very top back of the drawer. So you have to like pull the whole case out to set your name, which is a little bit of a bummer. But and then most of our spacing material is here in the middle. You can see this case has a lot right here, but just kind of varies.
Is there anything else you want to talk about a little bit? I thought we covered.
We covered a lot. We didn't go over inks or anything, but we use rubber based here in this shop. It's ink that doesn't dry on the press. So if a student messes up and leaves some ink everywhere, it won't create like a huge mess. Oil based does dry on the press, so that's why we use it. And then oil based inks dry via the air. But rubber-based, it dries by absorbing itself into the paper. So if you print a bunch of ink on top of itself, it'll take forever to dry. So that's a little fun fact.
And that's when we use drying agent.
Yes, but then drying agent makes it shiny, so it's yeah.
And it's harder to clean.
It is, yeah. It comes with more challenges, but it does dry faster.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.